Right, the other day I made a video in regards to the EU and the EU Army. So I put that on eBay, YouTube and a few other places. This was I'll show you a little snippet from the video, and then I'm going to show you an email that I've just got and a text that I've just got, and see what you make out of that. So here's a snippet from the video that I put on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. In the EU Army. What people have got to understand, the EU Army has already been formed and it's already based in this country. Right, so you see that bit, now I'm going to try and get you to another bit.
Cameron, as far as we're concerned, it's treason, and we've been warning about the creation of the EU military, and our warnings are now coming to fruition. So the Express here reporting that an EU army will happen, and it will weaken British defences. Now, it's been a retired colonel, Colonel Kemp, who's come out with this. Very senior man, and of course what he's really talking about is not just an EU army, this is the full EU military operation. And we can now tell our viewers that senior military officers are reporting, retired military officers I should say, are reporting that the whole of the structure is now in place, and if David Cameron chose to activate the EU military command and control structure throughout UK, that would be activated within 24 hours, and we would no longer be operating as a discrete nation state. We would no longer be operating within the NATO command and control structure. We would be mainstream aircraft for the RAF. We have it on good authority that the former RAF base at RAF St Morgan in Cornwall has now been established as the EU military headquarters in UK. The inset there is a photograph of part of the base, no longer operating as a base for mainstream aircraft for the RAF, but French military personnel have been operating there for some considerable time, and we now know that this is the centre of the EU military command and control structure. So all of this set up, total lies and deceit by British Prime Minister David Cameron, as this EU military structure has been embedded in the UK with no debate in Westminster and no public announcement. And of course, Mike, the thing that makes this particularly serious is that all that is needed is some sort of crisis within the UK. And we've now, James Clapper, he was asked if clandestine ISIS cells, such as those in Brussels, exist in England, and he said, yes, they do. That is a concern of obviously ours and our European allies. And he said, we continue to see evidence of plotting on the part of ISIL, or ISIS, or Daesh, or whatever they're called this week, in the countries you name. Well, of course, David Cameron is helping create this perpetual enemy that we're going to face. Because he has just given £2 billion, or he has arranged for £2 billion to go to the EU to help Turkey, Serbia and Albania join the European Union. So on one hand, we've got people saying...
Well, there you go. And I've just had a message here from Daily Mail Online. EU Army on the march in Britain. Secret war games with 2,000 troops in Britain. But you've just seen that. There's an EU army base in Cornwall full of French troops and armaments. I will try and show you this message the best I can. Okay, so please bear with me. There you go. EU Army, hang on, your phone's just gone off again, let's try and get it back up for you people. EU Army on the march in Britain. Secret war games with 2,000 troops. Daily Mail. Right, I've only just this second got that. So what we've got the EU Army, Secret War Games in Britain. So we've got that.
Throughout UK, that would be activated RAF.
So we've got this.
French military personnel have been operating there. RAF base at RAF St Morgan in Cornwall has now been established as the EU military headquarters.
So you've got St Morgan RAF base in Cornwall, full of French troops, is now been established as an EU army base. And on top of that, you get that. EU Army on march in Britain, secret war games with 2,000 troops. Well, we now know that the troops in the EU Army base at St Morgan's are French troops. Now work that one out. David Cameron has set this EU Army up without any debate in the Parliament or anything like that. He hasn't asked the British public. He's just gone ahead and done it all behind closed doors, all in secret. And if we don't manage to vote out of the EU on the 23rd of this month, then it'll all be slammed in our face. So there you go, folks. Our Prime Minister is not interested in what's right for the British people. He's basically doing what the EU Parliament tell him to do. He's a puppy. They're saying, we want the EU Army, we want this, we want that. He should turn and say, I've got to see what the British people want. He's not. He doesn't care about what we want. All he cares about is what the European Parliament wants, not what the British people want.